This is one of Georgia's oldest Soviet locomotives, and these are the battered old carriages I'm going to be travelling in. Today I'll be taking an incredible historic ride through Georgia, aboard an authentic Soviet train that has barely been modernised since the fall of the Union. We'll travel from Tbilisi, the nation's capital, through the challenging and enduring Caucasus Mountains as our 50-year-old train battles through these conditions. Join me for the epic journey up to Kutaisi. Today's journey starts just outside of the brutalist Tbilisi Central Station, here in Georgia's capital city. I actually spent the previous night on top of the station, here in the Tbilisi Central Hotel. The rooms aren't anything special, but the views are fantastic, and it's great if you have an early morning train to catch, like me. The station here is, in my opinion, fantastic. Not everyone will be a fan of the brutalist design, but I think it stands out as unique. Let me know in the comments what you think. The station entrance is rather like an airport, with a large drop-off area, though the station is also connected to the rest of the city by 2 lines of the Tbilisi metro. Inside the entrance, we're met with a large shopping mall. There are a lot of shops here, from electronics to clothing, though there's pretty much no activity. Most trains depart in the early morning, long before these shops open. The station hall itself is actually located 3 floors up, so be sure to arrive in plenty of time. Up here, there's a small food court, though again, this was closed as it was too early. There's also a ticket office, perhaps the only thing in the station that's actually open when most of the trains depart. Despite Georgian Railway having a pretty small network, Tbilisi Central actually sees some good variety in services. There are a few daily commuter services, running to small towns within a few hours of the capital, stopping at every single tiny station. The most notable of these is the twice-daily service to Borjomi, one of the country's most popular health spa resorts. Long-distance trains within Georgia are mostly handled by modern electric units, including the flagship double-decker trains imported from Stadler. There are also international services, with comfortable modern sleeper trains connecting Tbilisi with Yerevan in Armenia to the south, and Baku in Azerbaijan to the east. Georgian language has its own alphabet, and you'll certainly struggle to read it if you don't come prepared. Luckily, most information is translated to English. My train is number 18, the 0850 to Kutaisi 1, running together with number 12 as far as Rioni. Note that these old carriages now run on a different section of line in the centre of the country, but the authentic experience is still the same. Hauling us today, for the first portion of the journey at least, is loco number 11780. This series of locomotive is usually known as a VL11, with the VL standing for Vladimir Lenin. However, the VL lettering has been removed from all locomotives to distance Georgia from the USSR. Strangely, the locomotive is painted in the livery of the Russian railways. I have no idea why, as the two companies are not affiliated. If anyone has any information as to how this happened, I'd be very grateful to hear it. I'm travelling in car 5, which is the 3rd carriage of this 4-carriage train. Go figure. Tickets are checked at the door. I bought my ticket online, so I just show my passport before being ticked off a list. This carriage interior is weird, and I can't quite put my finger on why. Seating is in a 2+2 layout, with a mix of airline style and bays of 4, though seat allocation is completely random, and I've been given this seat at the end of the carriage. Today's route will see us heading north out of Tbilisi, before heading west towards the Surami Pass. Our train will divide in Rioni, with another old Soviet locomotive pulling us up the hill into Kutaisi. Journey time is 5 hours 35 minutes, covering just 217 kilometres. We leave on time at 0850, thus beginning our long journey on this retro train. Immediately after departure, we can see some sidings full of abandoned rolling stock. There are old locomotives, carriages, and even commuter trains typical to the region. We also pass the old Tbilisi electric locomotive factory, where our powerful locomotive and thousands more like it were built. It's a real pity that such an important location in railway history now lies abandoned. So it's time to take a look at our train's interior, and wow, where to start? These large reclining seats are the only option available on board. There's no class system on this train. There's plenty of padding with a decent backrest, making for a pretty reasonable level of comfort. Up here, a small piece of cloth to keep things clean. There are also folding armrests, which were padded too. These seats are pretty upright, but thankfully you'll find a recline lever just next to the cushion. There's a great amount of recline, making this really comfortable. Though for some reason, the seat next to me had a bed behind it, restricting the recline. And I don't mean a bed you can sleep on, but literally the folding bed from a sleeper carriage, and I have no idea why this was here. As for legroom, there is plenty of space, even on this long 5-hour journey. The seat in front is meant to have a seatback table, though mine was missing. The seat next to me, though, had some nice art. Now that we're out of the city, we have already started traversing some of this country's incredible terrain. To the right is the Tbilisi hydropower plant, dating back to 1927, the first of its kind in the Caucasus region. After about half an hour, we're out in the wilderness. Georgia is a country bound by 2 mountain ranges. To the north, or the right side of the train, is the Greater Caucasus, home to Mount Elbrus, Europe's highest mountain. Looking south, there is the Lesser Caucasus. This section of line is just one of many incredible places that we'll be passing through today. It's views like these that made me realise just how filthy the windows on this train are. Still, I guess it could always be worse. Many seats don't even have a window view at all. We are currently travelling adjacent to the Mtkvari River, known by neighbouring countries as the Kura River. Starting in northeastern Turkey, the river runs through Tbilisi into Azerbaijan, emptying into the Caspian Sea. On our way west, we pass many small stations, serving villages. This is Grakali, served by just 2 trains each way per day. And not long after, we pass one of those few trains, this being a modernised Elektrichka unit built in Riga, then the Latvian SSR. This commuter train started in Borjomi this morning, a destination I'd love to visit. One of the stations we stop at along the way is Gori. Whilst this might look like just any other small city in Georgia, it's actually the birthplace of Joseph Stalin, leader of the Soviet Union for much of its duration. "45 minutes later, we pass a major depot before crawling into the next station. This is Khashori, the first of 2 unofficial snack stops along the way. Here, local vendors set up shop every day, waiting for this train's visit, selling various traditional Georgian baked goods. Whilst Georgia's railway does have a limited passenger service, its main purpose is freight. The Caucasus region sits betwixt 2 seas and acts as the boundary of Europe and Asia, with the railways of Georgia and Azerbaijan seeing lots of freight crossing the gap. And it's not just trains that this railway carries either, with plenty of people using it to walk between villages. Our train is climbing, with this being the steepest ascent we'll encounter on the journey today. This is the Surami Pass, the first mainline railway to be electrified in the Soviet Union back in 1932. Believe it or not, the first locomotives used here were the S series, actually built by General Electric in the United States of America. We'll spend much of the journey's remainder here in the Lichli Mountains, a key obstacle for any travel on the east to west axis. While traversing the mountains, we pass one of Georgian Railway's flagship double-deck units, heading to Tbilisi. These 4-car Stadler units, capable of 160 kilometres an hour, are certainly a stark contrast to the train I'm riding on today, though this one certainly has a more authentic feel. In my opinion, this section of railway is a bit of a hidden gem. You rarely, if at all, hear of it in the lists of the greatest journeys in the world. But just look at this. We're gliding gracefully through the mountains as we slowly twist and turn our way down to Zestapony. However, if scenery isn't your thing, then you can draw the curtains. These were made of some sort of plastic or leather, making them really quite unpleasant to the touch, never mind the dated off-yellow colour. Above each seat is an individual reading light. There's also plenty of room for luggage, with the massive overhead luggage racks, while coat hooks can be found between the windows. There are also some TV screens, for some reason, probably the most modern part of this carriage. However, these weren't in use. I wonder what they used to show. And I'm sure I don't need to be the one who tells you that no Wi-Fi is available. All entertainment is found out of the window. And now the thing I've been dreading. A toilet can be found at the end of the carriage. This was pretty dirty and had a foul smell. It also just empties straight onto the track. On the plus side, soap was available, and there was even industrial strength toilet paper. Water can be dispensed by pushing up on the tap's base. And if all that wasn't enough, down here I found someone's old clothes. Isn't that just lovely? At the time of filming, Georgian Railways was undergoing a major infrastructure upgrade. Many tight curves were being bypassed through the construction of new tunnels and cuttings. This move will nearly double the freight capacity of the line, and whilst we're travelling slowly for now, will eventually shave 40 minutes off the travel time over the mountains. All this construction was funded by China. After a slow journey through the mountains, we're in the industrial city of Zestapony. This city mainly processes manganese ore from the nearby town of Chiatora, itself known for a large network of cable cars. We dropped off a carriage here in Zestapony, continuing west as a 3-carriage train. Next up is Sveri, a very small station in a village with a population of 500. After a few seconds here, we continue and pass a custom-made local bus, which I thought was pretty cool. As our journey enters its 5th hour, we call at Rioni. This is a junction station, named after the nearby river. Our train has a 25-minute wait here. Here, our carriage is dropped off, with the rest of the train continuing to Ozurgeti in the far west of the country. Another massive 2-part freight locomotive backs onto the train for the short ride up to Kutaisi. This is 10274. This rusty yet trustworthy machine dates back to 1973. And check out this weird pantograph-like device on the roof. I wonder what that's for. With our new locomotive attached, it's time to continue to Kutaisi. The climb to the city is rather steep, so it's a good thing that our train is incredibly overpowered. These locomotives were built for hauling heavy freight, so a single carriage is no sweat. Now on to how much this 5.5-hour trip cost. A one-way ticket is 9 Georgian lari. This really is outstanding value for money. Even by local standards, this is extremely affordable. As we approach the station, a train graveyard can be seen to the right. This containing a few examples of the now completely extinct 4E10 class. Arrival at Kutaisi 1 station is a minute early at 14:24. Overall, I had a great trip with Georgian Railways. Whilst this isn't the newest or most luxurious train in the world, or even in Georgia for that matter, this is an essential service at a fair price. It's certainly a lot better than another one of the world's cheapest trains, as I indeed found out when I travelled on the filthy and uncomfortable night mail sleeper train through the jungle of Sri Lanka. And that was an awful experience you won't want to miss. Watch that video by clicking up here now.